Hey, so I just wanted to touch base. I'm kind of quiet because my daughter is asleep. But I wanted to talk about um, some of the renovations, which I'm very excited about. Anyways, so my my room that was the ruins is done for the most part. We're still waiting on carpet, but otherwise it's completed and it looks fantastic. And I'm so excited about this. Um, like you can kind of see like all the trim and the color. My daughter picked that color. She's an artist and she's just better with colors than I am. And paint, she knows kind of when you paint something, it's gonna look darker once it dries. And so I'm like, oh, let's go with this color. And she's like, no, that's gonna be too dark. And she's always right. Like even when we get samples, it's like I'll paint a little swatch of something and I think it's gonna be one color. And then it ends up being just this really dark color I wasn't expecting. And so I show her images of the colors that I like, and she's like, okay, then you need to go with this one. So, but anyways, she chose this color for her room, and it was just this really beautiful, creamy, comfortable white color. I just think it's really joyful, and I don't usually use that expression for paint. But if you're in this room and it just feels really good to be in here. So anyways, this room is done. We are just waiting on the carpet, but I love all of the details. Like, let me try to determine where stuff, we have stuff in here because we're about to redo parts of not the whole kitchen, but parts of the kitchen because the flooding harmed the floor, and I'm doing some other things too, just that I've been wanting to do for years, but just have put off, because it's expensive. And I was gonna keep my old cabinets, but then it turns out they're not, because this is such an old house, they're not to standard. So like if I wanted, and I forgot about this, because I have when Abigail, right before she was born, we got our first dishwasher. This house didn't have a dishwasher when we moved in because, it was built in 1940, and the kitchen is really the original kitchen. But so we got a dishwasher because there was no way we were gonna wash all the bottles when she was born, and just everything. We knew we'd be busy, and we were right. But we had to get a smaller dishwasher, like the kind that people put in what are those, I can't think of what it's called, but like a little bar area, or when they have the second kitchens in their house, or just some people even put them outdoors in their very fancy outdoor kitchens, but it's a smaller dishwasher, and that's what would fit. Because I couldn't remember why, but it was because the height of the counter wouldn't allow a regular dishwasher to fit. And then the depth was also a problem. So we just went with the smaller one, which was surprisingly more expensive than a regular size dishwasher, which was disappointing. But that's what we did, because then we didn't have to replace our counters and cabinets and everything, which would have been hugely expensive. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going ahead and taking the dive and replacing the counters. And I thought I could get away with keeping the cabinets, but it's not working. So so the person who's doing all the renovations, he's really great, and he understands I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't have endless amounts of money to spend on this. So I actually, I had some insurance money from the plumbing company's insurance company, but it's not covering. It didn't even cover what it needed to cover to even do the basic work. So which is fine. It was almost to the point of covering it. It was about 10 grand off, and not that that's nothing to sneeze at, but I'm not gonna fight it. I feel like that is not material enough for me to really fight it. So, which I also know my plumbers, so, and they're great. And I'm not gonna like go through litigation with them or anything because I actually like them. Anyways, so that's that. And I bet if I reached out and I told him that it was, he would probably work something out with me, but I'm not even to that point yet. It is what it is. So I took out a loan to do the rest of the work, and I'm fine with that. I can pay that down pretty quickly. But anyways, so this room is pretty much done, and I'm just going to show you real quick because I think it looks fantastic. And please ignore like all of the ladders and everything that are still in here. There's no carpet yet. That is coming. And I have to do carpet. I know people are like, oh, why are you doing carpet? I'm not a carpet person, but I'm not opposed to it either. But this room was originally a detached garage that was attached by someone who lived here before us. And so the flooring kind of like shifts at points. And so it's just better to do carpet. You know, where I live, the city I live in, there's a ton of, the ground just always shifts. And so that's just common. Like I can't do tile in my house because of it. No one really can, you know, in this neighborhood. They do, but it cracks. So anyhow, so I do laminate in my kitchen, which I was gonna try, and I did penny tile in my bathroom and that worked. And I was really excited about that because the tiles aren't large. And so, so it kind of has some give. And occasionally I'll have to regrout different areas, but nothing severe. So I had considered maybe smaller tile for my kitchen at one point, but the cost ended up being prohibitive, and not penny tile. I wouldn't want to do penny tile in my kitchen, but there was another kind of tile and the cost was just absolutely prohibitive. So it's really either that or hardwoods. And I kind of went back and forth on hardwoods. Like I love the idea of having them in my kitchen, but then I couldn't find anything to match my original hardwoods because I have the originals and they have been really, really well maintained. And so I don't want to have to redo them because you can only really redo hardwoods like 3 times before you have to replace them. And so they've been redone once, and that was by us. And they are just beautiful. So I don't want to do anything that's going to harm the longevity of those. And I just can't find anything to match perfectly. So it's just, I just decided that I'm just gonna go with laminate again. And I'm fine with that. I found some I really like. It's Chris Loves Julia. It's really inexpensive, but it's really cute. Like checkerboard, like diamond checkerboard pattern. And it's just classic, and that's what I'm gonna do. And it's not my absolute favorite, but I like it enough that that's what I'm gonna do for the flooring in the kitchen. And anyhow, so carpet needs to still come in here, so please ignore the mess that's still here, but I'm gonna show you. And look at the trim, you know, it's so like detailed, like it looks like the trim in the rest of my house, and I'm just really excited. And let me come over here. It's like this little attic. We're gonna put cabinets over that. We didn't know what to do with it, but it's like a little space where I have like tiny storage for this side of the house. And we have this. Anyways, and then I have my my closet for my laundry. At one point this was like actually a mudroom separate from the living space, but it's now all combined, and I have a little washer and dryer, and right beside it is going to be my computer desk. So just like a really small 36-inch computer desk that I can have like a big, huge GPU tower on, so, and a printer and all that. But anyhow, that is the space. And my daughter likes to play video games, and I also work with very large data sets, although I don't know that I'm doing that anymore. And even though, you know, I didn't need to have all the computing power at one point, we did. So it was just easier to go with something like that. But yeah, so this is a room. And then I want to show you the kitchen, because my kitchen is really old and outdated, but he's been doing work on it. And it's really crowded in here. I'm gonna whisper because my daughter's room is like upstairs. And it's like a loft, so I don't want to be too loud. But anyways, these are the original cabinets. And we took out the counter already and the cabinets, the originals. And it's just, hang on, I'm gonna show you. See all that? These are gonna be the new cabinets. And I was gonna go with Shaker, but it ended up just not being able to work, like the sizes of the cabinets and the size of the space. And then they were, I could either have the pre-painted, which was cheaper, or have somebody actually build them, which was really, really expensive. And I could have him, you know, just only do the cabinet doors, but the hinges for Shakers, like real Shaker, it is $40 a hinge. So I was like, it's for a total of like $800 for hinges. So I was like, you know what, I like these just fine, and let's just do this. So we went with just like the pre-built, and I'm fine with that. Like I'm not, I just need a functional space really. And like if I had time to save money to do everything I really wanted to do, maybe I might actually get the handcrafted cabinets that are Shaker cabinets and everything. But I would have to, you know, my plan was to wait another 5 years and then do all of this, but it is happening, it is upon me now, and I have to get this done just because of everything that happened with the flooding. So so I'm gonna do this, and my daughter loves these cabinets. Like she was like, these are the ones you want. She was like, Shakers are so millennial, you know, and she's Gen Z. So if you're a millennial, I'm really sorry. She's like, I'm Gen X, but I'm like at the cusp. I don't even want to say I'm at the cusp, because I kind of am and I'm kind of not. But Gen Z really does not like millennials fashion. But I kind of veer a little bit of both, like both Gen X and millennial. And so my daughter is just like, oh, your fashion is just so millennial. And she just makes fun of it all the time. But I love her, she's so funny. But she loves those cabinets because she thinks they're really traditional. And she's like, you know, all the Shaker stuff is gonna go out of fashion soon. You know, and it looks cheap. So I'm like, okay. But the funny thing is, you know, I've had these conversations with her in the past where I wanted to do a certain upgrade that looked too millennial for her. And then I didn't do it because I'm like, all right, you know, because she's an artist, you know, and she's going into design and just everything like that. So so I'll listen to her, you know, from time to time, not always, but time to time. And she ended up being right. Because what I had chosen ended up like, now it's like something you see everywhere, and I hate it. I hate it. Like, I'm just like, ugh, you know, it's too trendy. So, so I'm really glad I listened to her, you know, because she spared me having to redo it ultimately, because it's just too, it's all over. But I think Shaker's super, it's old school, you know, I think it's been around forever, and I think it's gonna be around forever. So I kind of disagree with her on Shaker cabinets, but but I also know what she's talking about, you know, and once you have shaker cabinets at Home Depot, they're probably a little too trendy. So anyways, we went with the traditional, and I really love them. I mean, I wouldn't say love, but but I do. Like, I think that they're actually really nice. And like, I'm just gonna show you again. So, but my daughter really likes them, and yeah, this one is gonna be like a pull. It opens right now, but it's actually gonna be like a pull for a trash, and like 2 trash cans. Like, one is for trash, and then one is for recycle. And then obviously this is where my kitchen sink is gonna be, and then I'm gonna have more counter space in here and storage. He's gonna cut a hole like in here to get to back here, and I'll have like some kind of pull or something to get to it. And then the dishwasher is gonna go right here. And I went with a Cafe 2-drawer, which I've been eyeing that for, oh my gosh, I've been doing research on this for probably 4 years already, maybe 3. What is it? What year is it? It's like, yeah, I mean, longer actually. I've probably been doing research on this since COVID, really, maybe 2021. But I really liked Cafe. I didn't like their reviews, but I loved the matte white Cafe, and just because I'm kind of a little tired of stainless steel, but you know, stainless steel is going to be around forever, so that was another thing I was thinking about. But ultimately, and then I was looking at the Miele dishwashers, which I really wanted, but they only come in stainless steel. And then I was looking at fridges, and I was looking at the Sub-Zero, which I really wanted, and it's just way too expensive. So I ended up going with something that's exactly the same size as that, like a 30-inch, but it's just nearly a third the cost. So it's the right size. It's probably, I'm actually kind of afraid of it because I know it has some bad reviews. But again, it kind of boils down to cost at this point. So I went ahead and did that, and did the double drawer Cafe, because we're only 2 people, and my daughter's going to college in a year, and I'm not going to need a full dishwasher, but I want the option to have a full dishwasher for when I have dinners, because I really do need it. So I'm not doing like 2, 3, and sometimes 4 loads of dishes after, you know, making a big dinner when I have guests over or just whatever. So I felt like that double drawer was really the best option for me, because I'll have the option to use 1 drawer when I need it, and just 1, and I'm saving water and energy, or I could use both. So I'll have to mix it up and make sure and use each of them. So I'm not, you know, primarily only using 1 and burning it out. I don't know if that's how it works, but I might research that actually. But anyways, that's what I did. And I went for the pretty versus, I went for pretty and somewhat functional for my lifestyle, versus like truly just the workhorse of like the fridges and everything, because, and that really, I wanted to do the functional. If you know me at all, I just know that I wanted to go functional, and it's really hard that I'm not right now. But it's too expensive. It's way too expensive to do that. Like, I would have ended up spending like $25,000 on appliances, and I just don't have that kind of money. So maybe sometime in the future, or maybe not. So hoping these things, you know, don't break on me, but I have a really good handyman if they do. And I'm pretty, you know, I tinker with stuff, and I can fix things sometimes, not everything. So anyways, this is my kitchen. I'm gonna be painting. It's all of that, the wood you see on the walls, that is just the actual house. Like, that's not me putting wood up. So we kind of use that to our advantage, and this is what my house looks like. It's really messy right now because everything is just everywhere with the renovation. And that's the original cabinet. You can kind of see them. And then all of this is going to be replaced. This is where this is Butch, my fridge from 1980. It still works. I will miss this fridge. I'm actually deeply sad that I'm getting rid of it, but it's been here the whole time with us. Anyways, but I really want my kitchen to be more streamlined, and I need a fridge that sits more flush to the wall in order to do that, because my kitchen's small. So anyways, this is what is going to be my pantry. A water heater once sat in there, and I upgraded to a tankless and moved it, and that was probably like a year or two ago. And then I wanted to make this a pantry. I have like shelves in there right now, and I have a little broom closet, which I absolutely love, and it also holds my internet. But anyways, this is my kitchen, and it should be done by the end of the week. I'm very excited. Very, very excited to have some small upgrades. New refrigerator, new dishwasher, surprise new cabinets. I was not expecting those, but those are happening. And then new flooring, which I really is really what I really needed. And I'll get some new pendant lights, and I haven't picked those out yet. This all feels like it's like on the fly, even though it isn't, because I'm such a planner that I never do anything within a month or a few months notice. Like, I'm always like planning years in advance, and so it's very strange to not know what I'm doing and then having to do it. But yeah, so I'm gonna let Raphael do his job today, and he's doing fantastic work. He's the best. And that's it. This is my update. All right, thanks.